Hello, hello, and thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Peter Murray, broker owner of Murray & Co. Real Estate. Chime in here to talk about the real estate market. Thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be a fun day filled with a lot of exciting updates. I'll probably be streaming for, I don't know, around about an hour. Today's focus obviously is going to be on the competitive real estate market, but a quick, fun, and exciting event that I'm still calming down from. So I commented on someone's YouTube video today with like a very witty post. And I don't know if anyone's seen that meme where they sing that Dangerous song and the cup is like shaking. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm still calming down. It was a very witty post. I'm just thrilled to pieces. If you haven't been on the Broke Agents podcast YouTube page or tuned into their Over Ask podcast, you definitely should. That's where I posted my witty comment. I thought it was hilarious. I hope that Eric and Matt find it the same way. But anyways, all good stuff. So yeah, today's topic is definitely going to be a good one. The big question is, if you were a seller and a buyer offered you $80,000 above list price, would you take it? Well, that's your own decision, right? But let's kind of work through it. So, before we begin, let's get into a couple of fun little tools here that we got going on. This is my website, mcre.com. Definitely a fun one to visit. I reconfigured the homepage so that way, if you need to sell, you can sell your home the minute you're ready. And we're focused on adding some tools there, including a couple iBuyers, as well as a few little other, I wouldn't say partnerships because that's a very strong word, but we are working with other companies that are not local, that have housing solutions that can provide you the opportunity to either sell your home at less stress, and the opportunity to purchase a home using cash funds out of the equity of your property. More to come on that in the future, but we're really trying to make it as low stress as possible. No question, no doubt about it. Moving is definitely a stressful and sometimes not fun adventure. But at the end of the day, if you keep that end goal in mind about moving to that next property or selling your current property, at the end of the day, keep that goal in mind. You'll get through it. And then the other thing you can do is you can buy your dream home. We also have investment properties and all the other properties you can think of. But you just click that dream home tab, and up pop a list of all the most popular properties in Frederick and Montgomery County. So definitely a fun website. Very interactive, very dynamic. Covers two counties. It does pull listings from all of Bright MLS, so every so often you might see a listing from Philadelphia all the way down to, I think, like North Carolina. but but yeah, and if you're looking out there, I'm obviously not licensed up in Pennsylvania or down in North Carolina, but I do have realtor friends across the country, and I can definitely help you with your relocation needs. Another thing that we need to consider real quick before we get too far into the conversation, this video, the stream, is really just a high level overview of the market. Doesn't create any sort of agency agreement with the brokerage and you, and not giving out advice here. If you do have any particular questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. My cell phone number is 301-452-5614, and my email address is peter@mcre.com. Very easy to reach and pretty responsive. So definitely, if you have any questions about real estate here in Maryland, happy to help. If you have any questions outside of the area, I'm more than happy to get you in touch with a realtor across the country. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into it. Like, home prices. Home prices are growing at a very, very, very fast rate. Last month there was a 12.2% gain, which bumped the median sales price of homes sold a year ago up to above 300,000, right? Like that's crazy. It is so far not uncommon for listings to get well over list price. And when you're out there working with buyers, or when you're out there working with buyer agents and buyers trying to sell your property, I mean, you have to make a decision, and you have to be ready. You have to be real ready to just up and leave your house, let a wave of buyers come through, and be ready for a bunch of offers. I have written offers on properties where there's been 20, 30 offers on the property, and the listing agent priced the property relatively correctly. The biggest challenge that we're facing right now is the comps are a representation of the past. The rates being so low, the increased buyer demand, the decrease in real estate supply is really driving up the properties to a point where the comps really don't mean much right now. And unfortunately, that's all we really have. So a lot of listing agents, including myself, we follow trends in the marketplace, research all the comps. But at the end of the day, the range is the best guess based off of market data, which really is all that you can do. And then the buyers set the value, right? The seller set the list price, and the buyers help determine the value of the property. And right now, when you have an ample supply of buyers in today's market, and we're talking ample supply, you have an opportunity to get well above list price. And that's where you see headlines like home price growth sets record high, record-breaking year for real estate. Haven't seen this much increase in years. So yeah, definitely those are probably very similar headlines that you're working on. FHFA, the Federal Housing Finance Agency, they have a house price index. They have monthly reports. You can download these. If you need a link, just send me a link. The other tool that we use when we're starting to look at real estate stats is the newest tool, latest and greatest from the Bright Multiple Listing Service, and it is available to the consumer, is the T360 Home Demand Index Report. And this just shows what we already know. Home demand index is high. And in fact, it has gone up from moderate last month all the way up to high. So we went from orange to red. What does that mean? It just means that there's a lot of competition out there for buyers when they're out there buying a property. National Association of Realtors, they do think that quarter three, we're in quarter two now, quarter three should cool off a bit, but everyone's guess is as good as mine when it comes to the future, because the demand is so strong. There's not enough supply in today's marketplace. What do you do? What do you do? So let's take a quick look at the local markets here. And this is a tool that I use on a regular basis. It's called the Realtor Property Resource Tool. It's a great tool, provides fantastic reports on what's going on in today's market. I have several properties or areas that I follow across Frederick and Montgomery County, one of them being Damascus. There's 11 properties for sale. And here's a big indicator right here. Zero distressed properties. Out of the 34 that are closed, there's 34 available data points. There's 11 for sale, 10 pending, and 10 have closed. Right? That's quite a bit. Let's bounce down to Frederick. Frederick's another interesting one. Frederick is a pretty big area. It covers 21701, 21702, 21703, 21704. As you can see, there's more data points here just because it's a bigger area. But you have 405 data points. Out of the 405, you have about a quarter of them for sale. 121 for sale. 21 are for lease. and 162 are pending. That's a big number. You have more pending than you have active inventory. I think that's a very important point and important data point to keep in mind and to follow. And then you also have 76 have sold. 0 distressed properties. We're in a very, very unique environment right now where there's not many distressed listings on the marketplace. So far in the 2 areas that we looked at in Damascus and Frederick, there's none. There's no distressed listings. Distressed listings. But they may come. Who knows? With the low interest rates right now, affordability for buyers to be able to afford a higher priced home is easier because the interest rates are low, right? You compare this to this time last year when interest rates were a little bit higher. Buyers weren't able to buy as much. But now that you have lower interest rates, and next week we're going to have a lender on to talk more about this, but when you have a lower interest rate, you can afford more of a purchase price. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Up to you, up to the buyers to decide. And then real quick, we looked at Frederick, Damascus. Let's just pick another one. Let's pick Rockville. Rockville, it's 20850, 20851, 2852. And in that area, you have 350 data points. 107 are for sale, 106 are pending, and 69 have closed. Interesting stat here, no distressed properties. The housing market is just fueled up, on fire, and just cooking. It is appreciating at a very fast rate. I'm working with several buyers, lots and lots of buyers right now, and they range from first-time home buyers to move-up buyers, downsizing, as well as investors. Competition is so fierce. So if anyone would like more information on this, don't hesitate to reach out. I am very data-driven. One thing I do want to reiterate again, data, unfortunately, is a snapshot of the past. And in today's market, the future is really where it's all at. And the comparable properties, the solds, represent a reflection in time that happened about 30 to 45 days ago. Not too far away, but 30 to 45 days, a lot can change in 30 to 45 days, especially if there's an interest rate change right now. You could see a fluctuation in buyer demand, affordability, ABC, XYZ, and you won't see that for another 30, 45 days. So, interesting stuff. Also have to keep in mind. Let's take a quick look on Bright MLS. And while we're over there, what we'll do is we'll start tapping into the big question of the day. Oh, signing with my corporate ID. What does that mean? I have a corporate ID? But the big question of the day is, if you were offered $80,000 above the list price of your property, would you take it? And let's take a look. So, in the past day in Frederick and Montgomery County, you have 66 new coming soons, 160 are new active, 6 are back on market. 17 had a price reduction. And then you have 85 that closed, 93, I don't know, about 120. About 120 listings are under contract. But let's take a quick look here in the hot sheet here for Frederick, Maryland. So out here in Frederick, in the event that you were in the process of selling your home and you're offered $80,000, this is your competition. You have 66 coming soon properties. You have about 100 or so actives, and then the rest are solds. So let's take a quick look at the solds in Frederick. So closing out the actives, closing out the coming soons, putting the close, and let's go in the past 30 days because 180 days is way too far. And let's just focus on the county Frederick. Boop, 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 boop. And let's focus in further on a detached property in the price point of, let's say, 350 to 450 because that's a pretty active market right now. 350 to 450. 58 properties have sold in the past 30 days in Frederick. And let's do a quick analysis of these properties, and we'll do a price analysis report. And on this, oh goodness gracious, oh goodness gracious, oh no, there it is. Of these properties, of these 58 properties, you have a median sales price of $391,000. You have an average sales price of $395,000. $395,385. These properties were on the market for about a week, 5 to 8 days. And I think that's a very important data point because 5 days really is the weekend, right? So a property goes live on a Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Property goes under contract Sunday, or Thursday is live, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 5 days as well. 8 days, very rare to see a property go under, take more than a week to go under contract, but it does happen. So real quick, let's look at the list price to sales price ratios because those are very fascinating. In this price point, you had a property sell for 124% list price to sales price ratio, right? That's pretty crazy. 124%. That means somebody offered 25% more than the list price. 25% on a $450,000 property, right about $80,000. Let's see if we can find that property. So, and we'll dive into that. 117. Oh, that's a big one right there. 117% of list price. 108. I mean, all these properties are selling well above list price, which is just incredible if you think about it. Last year at this time, you're right around 98, 99% list price to sales price ratio, and now they're just cooking, and they are on fire. I don't know why I cannot find the 124%. 106. Oh, there it is, right there. All right, 816 Dunbrook Court. Let's try and go find that one. So back to nope. Back it up. Pick it up. 816. I don't know anything about this property. The listing office was Compass. And it is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath detached property. And let's take a quick look at this property. Dunbrook Court out here in Warman's Mill. Nice, looks like a main level living property. For sale sign in the front yard, brick paver driveway, 2-car garage attached. Very nice property. Looks like original hardwood floors. Nice paint job with some glass doors in there. Built-in shelves. Those appear to be built-in shelves. Kind of getting a sense of this property. You have a gas fireplace. You got a dining room. Loving the wide camera lens. You got the cathedral. Not the cathedral. Oh, I'm blanking on the phrase. You've got some sort of decorated ceiling. Arched doorways. Dining room with access to the outside. You've got the tiled floors. You've got a nice sized kitchen. Nice sized breakfast nook. Nice property, right? Very nice property. This property was of great interest to a set of buyers because someone offered and paid 124% over list price. Sunroom in the, looks like it's a master bedroom. Sunroom in the second bedroom. Here is a bathroom, dual sinks. Definitely exciting times. No one likes to share a sink. I know I do not. Walk-in closet. There's a third bedroom. Different flooring than the main flooring, but still appears to be some sort of hardwood type product. There's your second full bathroom with the walk-in shower. Notice the trend right now is walk-in showers without much of a lip on the ground to prevent tripping. And this is probably some sort of den or study area. Got front-load washing machines. And you got a nice patio in the back. Looks out into your backyard with some greenery. Here's your basement. Definitely has, just your unfinished basement appeal. Very typical. You got your hot water heater here. You got an air handler. This is not my listing, but this is your floor layout, right? It's nice that they included the floor layout. You got your bedrooms. You got the water closet, which is or walk-in closet. You got the primary bathroom. You have the main bathroom, and you got the garage, right? So, nice listing. This property sold was listed by Compass and sold by Remax Results for the original price was $335 and the closed price was $416. 335 416. That's crazy. That's a huge increase, right? What are we looking at here? 416 minus 385. I think I would have all this pulled up, but because of the stream and it's live, I do not. 416 minus 335, that's $81,000. If you got an offer $81,000 over list price, are you taking it? This person did. And I think that's a really good idea, right? Because you've just made $81,000 above where you thought the property was going to sell for. That is wild. Like I have no words. No words for that. How in the world can a buyer be ready to compete on their first round of writing an offer with a property that sells for $81,000 above list price? That is crazy. That is just how competitive today's market is. So, very interesting stuff over there on Dunbrook. But that's not atypical. Look at this one. Oak Tree Court. That was listed for $350, or it was listed for $299, and it sold for $350. That's 51 grand over list price. 117% closed price to list price ratio. Big numbers here. 107, 111, 108. So I mean, like, very, very atypical. Cherokee Trail, 117.79. Listed for $298, sold for $351. These are multiple offers, and many, many buyers driving up the sales price. Interesting stuff. At the end of the day, you, the seller, are the one that wants to make the decision on where you want to offer your sales price, where you want to, you the seller are the one who decides where you list your property. But the buyers are the ones that are really driving up the price. There's such limited inventory, buyers have to move. And they are competing very competitively, and they are offering extremely aggressive offers, and a lot of them are coming in substantially above list price, as we saw on that one property, $81,000 above list. That property was sold as is. I would imagine that the buyers probably did some sort of home inspection, but there was no home inspection contingency, right? And then a lot of people are waiving their appraisals. Let's see what financing was done on this property. This property was sold via cash. So this was a cash transaction. How can a buyer with a loan compete with a cash buyer? That's a good question. I'm going to write that down because that's going to be a stream for next week. And that's when we'll have Jeff Novotny from George Mason Lending hop on the call, and he will talk about that. How can a buyer that is financing how can a buyer that is financing compete with an all cash buyer? Good stuff. That's more to come next week. But just to give you, a snapshot idea of the market. So if you're going to be out there house hunting this weekend, keep that in mind. Properties are selling very quickly. Offers are extremely aggressive. And when there's multiple offers, whether when there's an escalation clause or just a number thrown the seller's way, they're going substantially above list price. So with that said, take a quick look at John Burns Real Estate Consulting. He has a lot of really good courses. I had a link pulled up and it seemed to have gone away. But this is what I wanted to click on, was to talk a little bit about rentals. Right now, I mentioned earlier that I'm working with a couple investors as well in today's marketplace. And you would think that in a very strong up market that there really wouldn't be an opportunity for someone to buy an investment property. And that's really not the best mindset right now. If you have the ability to obtain financing for some sort of commercial loan product, which could be, on a multifamily property or on a detached property or a condo or what have you, anything that you're going to utilize for some sort of rental or investment purposes, now could be a really great time, especially in the competitive upmarket that we're in, to purchase. And a lot of investors right now are building single family or detached properties for rent. They call it the old BFR, build for rent space, or SFR, single family rental. No signs of slowing down. Investors, they're scooping these properties up. It happens more across the country as opposed to locally here in Frederick, Maryland. You don't really see many big investment groups coming in, capital investment like they have listed here on this infographic. But there's a lot of investors in today's market. I mean, look at these people. Subscribe to their podcast. They have a fantastic podcast too. I love listening to their podcasts. I get so much great information from John Burns Real Estate Consulting. Look at this. So about a year ago, March, May, July, August, you start seeing some of these big companies scooping up some BFR, build for rents, or SFR, single family rental properties. But then look at all this money in late 2020, early 2021. They're just coming in. And it is continually to evolve. And it's allowing investors to charge premium rents because the property's new, and to really put together a good product for their consumer, for someone to rent that property. It is incredible to see the various opportunities. If anyone wants to run an investment analysis on a property, let me know, and I can add that to a future stream. Because whenever you analyze a rental property in today's market, definitely very interesting, and you break it down to the cap rate as well as your return on investment for your cash investment. But I mean, look at these. People are just giving them money to buy these single-family homes, detached properties. These companies are raising $1.2 billion, $1.6 billion of capital, of growth as they anticipated, hoping for this year. 3,500 homes wholly owned, and also utilizing joint venture portfolios. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's a lot. They also utilize REIT, Real Estate Investment Trusts. Interesting stuff. If you are interested in rental properties, investment properties, now's a very interesting time. And real quick, let's touch on the U.S. economic forecast. And this is by the National Association of Realtors research department. And if you start looking at it, price changes and housing indicators, you see that the forecast is a trend. There's going to be less homes sold. And the reason why there's less homes sold is because there's less homes available. It's not because there's a lack of demand. It's because there's truly a lack of supply. And when you have that, you have the increase in appreciation. So if you look here on quarter 3, which is coming up, they do expect it to cool down a little bit. And I don't know if you're able to really see this well on the YouTube screen, but I will do my best to narrate it as lively as possible. But they expect an uptick of about 10% for housing starts. You're going to start seeing a little bit more new single-family home sales. You're going to see 4.3% increase in existing home sales, and your median sales prices are going to appreciate about 3.8 for the existing and 3.5 for the new homes. And when you compare that with quarter one for existing homes was substantially higher. And that's why I think there's some relief on the way for buyers. As long as you're patient and you're able to hang on for 2 or so more months and just ride out this aggressive quarter, I am hopeful that more demand or more supply will hit the market. And also I am hopeful that the demand will kind of tear off for the following reason. You're going to have buyers getting tired of the home search process, and they may decide to wait a year. They may decide 2 years, 6 months, whatever the time frame is. I think you're going to start seeing the demand curve kind of trail off, and so does the research department over at the National Association of Realtors. So all good stuff. I think it's very positive. And then they expect, the economic department, they expect that for the remaining quarters of 2021, that's the year that we're in, and the first half of 2022, to float right around that 3%. So next quarter, they're expecting it to be a 3% increase. Quarter 4 is going to be 3.1. Quarter 1 of 2022 is going to be 2.9. And quarter 2 of 2022 will be 2.9 appreciation for your existing homes. And I think that that's good because when you compare it to the first quarter and second quarter of 2021, you're looking at 12.7% appreciation, 9.3% appreciation. Those are substantial numbers compared to something with a 3 in front of it or a 2 in front of it. So I do think that that is good news. And I think that's just something that, as long as you're patient and you're able to hang on to the home search and hang on during this crazy ride, I think there's relief on the way. You're still going to have multiple offers, but hopefully they're not going to be 80 grand above list price, because that's very overwhelming for buyers. A lot of buyers aren't able to compete with that. I mean, who has $80,000 cash and the ability to waive an appraisal just hanging out in their bank account? You would think in today's market a lot of people do because they're doing it. However, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and one of the big ways that buyers are able to scramble up that $80,000 is they're cashing out their retirement funds, or they're taking out their 401ks. And I'm not saying that's a good idea or a bad idea, but whenever you're taking something out that you've saved for years for your retirement, to purchase something, an asset that is not in your retirement, unless of course you're retiring. I'm obviously speaking to someone who's not ready to retire just yet, or a home buyer that's not ready to retire. Like, is it a smart idea to take out your 401k, to cash it in, to go buy a property? That's your call. That is your call. A lot of buyers in today's market are thinking of that, and that's kind of why I started to explore other opportunities and options for my clients, as well as the agents in my office, to offer them to their clients, where they won't have to cash out their 401ks if they don't want to, and they can utilize a service where they can tap into the equity of their home. It's not a loan. I guess technically it is a loan, but it's not done through a bank. It's done through a couple of new companies that I was on a webinar for. More to come on that. We're still kind of evolving that, and hopefully they work out. And they turn out to be a good opportunity for me to offer clients. But just finding tools for buyers that may not be willing, or may not have the opportunity or the ability to pay 80 grand cash over list price, offer a tool for them to compete, because there's nothing more exciting than watching your buyers get a property when there's so much competition, and something that they're happy with. So anyways, enough on that. Very competitive market today. Keep up the great work if you're out there looking. This link, what I'm clicking on here, is the Frederick County Chamber of Commerce. And what they are highlighting here, and I'm very excited, in a couple weeks we're going to have Emily and Alyssa on the podcast, or on our real estate stream, which is Frederick's only real estate stream. Super excited that they're going to be on here, and they're going to talk about building their community, how great of a job they've built their business. So I'm super excited for them to hop on and really have a conversation on what it's like to be a business owner out here in today's pandemic climate, right? It's very difficult for entrepreneurs trying to evolve their product, and Emily and Alyssa have done a phenomenal job doing such. So really excited to have them on our podcast in 2 weeks. In a week, we're going to have Jeff Novotny talking about how a buyer with financing can compete with an all-cash buyer. I'm sure he'll have a couple of tips to share with you as well. And also learn more about his business, right? How did he get started? Why is he doing what he does? Does he like doing what he does? I can answer all those questions, and I'm 99.9% sure he loves what he does. He is super energetic, and I think he's going to be a great interview here on the stream. And then the final thing that I will leave everyone with today, if it loads, I really hope it loads, is my my partnership with the CE Shop. And it is not loading. So let's see if we can get it to pop up again. CE.com. And there it is. This is the CE Shop. It is an online resource for one to go take all their continuing ed. And if you've been following the news lately, if you have continuing ed to take, oh, it reloaded. So clever. Oh, wow, it reloaded with a discount. But if you have your continuing education to take, You know that our Governor Hogan extended the licensing deadlines for you to renew your real estate license and meet your continuing ed requirements, and that is getting ready to sunset. Take your CE classes. If you need 30% off your continuing education, check it out, mcre.theceshop.com. Save 30%. 30% when you enroll in your online real estate course today. And then obviously if you're looking for an opportunity to obtain your real estate license, I love working with new agents. We have a pre-licensing course. So the CE Shop offers all sorts of really great resources to help get you started in the mindset of what it takes to start your real estate business or your real estate sales business. And they also offer a pre-licensing course where you can take. It's a 60-hour online course, which will make you eligible to sit for the Maryland Real Estate License exam. So all really good stuff. And then coming up in May, we have an accredited buyer designation course that we'll be holding in Arlington, Virginia, in person, which will be very, very exciting because that'll be our first in-person event in Arlington. You'll be able to overlook the DC Monument in their new office, and it's going to be a great time. So if you want any more information on that, that's the Queen Academy of Real Estate hosting that class. So without further ado, it was a lot of fun.